If you can build a product that is entertaining first, more than likely, you probably would have solved a lot of consumer problems. When I was charging $10 flat, and I want everyone to hear this, I was hearing complaint after complaint. It's too expensive. Why do I have to pay $10? And then I changed it to $7 a week or $35 a year. And I haven't heard a single complaint about price ever since. How does that make sense? But what actually ends up happening is the class of product and the class of customer you're serving has completely changed. The ones who are only affording $10 flat are not even in the equation. But luckily, there's plenty of other people who pay for subscriptions that it doesn't even matter. So do not compete at the lowest tier because you're going to deal with the lowest tier problems and the lowest tier customers, and you don't want to deal with that. The whole approach I always took was what would be great content, and then let's work it back into a actual product, as opposed to let me build a product that solves a purpose and then try to market it. And the benefit of doing it this way is that you will essentially lower your cost for customer acquisition because you've already built a product that's based around entertainment to go viral and take advantage of organic downloads. There's a trend on TikTok about people who would find their soulmate. I found my soulmate. I found my soulmate. It was a trend. They're posting their soulmates. So I made a video response to this trend saying, of the 500 most popular videos about how they found their soulmate, let's see how many of them broke up within 6 months. And I put them all into this app I made. And then I showed them that like 40% of them broke up. And wow. And that video got like 10 million views. I mean, it was just like insane, right? Wow. 10 million views is like $40,000 to $50,000 worth of ad spend, right? So that's the value you get from doing great content while building products around like with a content first approach, right? If you can build a product that is entertaining first, more than likely, you probably would have solved a lot of consumer problems.
Is there a framework that you like to use to come up with these type of ideas?
It's like a mental checklist for sure. In some sense, you have to hit something that's like makes it funny or unique or like clever. Like that was a big piece of it. I built a website where you can put in 2 signs, like these comparison websites. So my whole premise was like, who's to say that this is like the source of like truth on astrology? Because it's all made up in my book. So I made an astrology site where it uses AI and it creates a BS reason for why any 2 signs you put in are very compatible. And then guys will then send this to people on dating apps like, oh, look, we're compatible. And the girl clicks the link and he goes, wow, I didn't even know we're so compatible, right? And that one was like really funny. So I guess you could say like my whole theme has always been around like humor. And, you know, I just start with like, what would be a good video? The core thought process that makes the irony or what makes something funny. It's like comedy in a sense, right? And then you build a product around that. So then I hire influencers to make videos. I mean, like 50 million organic views come from other influencers who've made videos about my app. One of the videos got 20 million views, right? And I wasn't even in the video. So you don't have to be an influencer, but you have to be a great storyteller. And when you build a product with a story that is entertaining, which is a content first approach, you have this infinite content wheel, and you can hire influencers who by the way, are very cheap. They're not expensive, and they can make content for you. And I think that is the unlock. I think of like what would be a viral video, and then if the video goes viral, I then work it back into a product. And sometimes I can bite you in the ass. I built an app one time, it went super viral, and the app wasn't even like out there. I couldn't capture any downloads. And now I learned about pre-ordering. I mean, I learned about it, you know, shortly after a few years ago, but I didn't know at the time. So I'm like, oh, wow, that would have been nice. So if I were you, come up with great ideas, make some viral videos if you have that capability, or hire an influencer to do it for you, and then make a pre-order app and see how many people actually convert. My next app that I'm working on right now, I have another one in the brewing, and I think it's my big one. I think Paralive is great. My next one I'm working on, I think it's like the $100 million one, and I'm running ads to a pre-order. It's all stealth mode, and what I'm looking at is for one, how quickly people click on the link, and I'm tracking like my click-through rate, and I know the metrics. So again, I'm also kind of against Nikita's perspective of like, it should be all, you know, organic and shares. Actually, I have done quite a bit of ad spend as well. Ads are great for being targeted for people who are going to spend a lot of money on your product. So while I may get 20 million views from an organic video, which I have had, those 20 million views through ad spend are going to have way more downloads just because they're so much more targeted. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So are you using that 20 million video, that same video on the ad
Oh
too? Is
yeah.
that what
So
you're doing?
any
That's a smart.
viral video that I have, I use them as ads, and they're great ads, by the way. Because if they're a viral video, they're probably going to be a great ad. Sometimes you have to shorten them though, and you get to the point quicker because, you know, once that link pops up, people get like turned off because they realize they're watching an ad. I do organic videos, but the ads, I feel like you can be much more strategic. You need to do both. It's a combination of both, in my opinion, for at least all the products I've worked on, and it seems to work really well. So yeah, it's not just organic.
That's awesome, man.